Hey folks, welcome back to Wisconsin Family, and we're here on location at Courtesy Ford in Sauk City, and what a great new place this is. They've done a lot of work to this place.
Absolutely.
It looks fantastic, and we're going to talk with the owners in just a little while here.
Sure will. Sounds good.
But first, I'm so excited for our next guest because he's going to be giving us some financial advice throughout our season here of Wisconsin Family. I'm joined now by John Shear from Trinity Financial Planning. John, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so glad to talk to you.
So we're going to talk a little bit about planning for college today, and I'm wondering, what's the most important thing that people can consider about saving for college?
Well, one of the things that we talk about with our clients when they come in and saving for college is that they should consider that saving for retirement is the most important thing, because there's no financial aid for retirement, there's no loans for retirement. Kids will go to college. If they go to Harvard, they won't not go because of money, but taking care of the parents' retirement is the critical thing to start with.
That's a really good point.
That is a good point. Yeah, when you're trying to balance finances and what money should go in what bucket.
So worst case scenario, you get a loan for the entire thing, but you can't do that for retirement, so you better save for retirement.
That's right. Prioritize things first. Get the big thing taken care of first, and then we can address the college planning.
Yeah,
I like that idea, certainly. So John, if we are going to start putting money aside for college, give us some ideas of what options are out there if we're just getting started.
Sure. Well, the big one that most people know about is the 529 college savings plan.
Yeah.
That's a great plan. The drawback is the money has to be used just for college, but you get a state tax deduction up to a little over $3,000. You put money in, you get a tax deduction for it, and then the money grows tax-free, and when you use it for college, it comes out with no taxes. So that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, tax-free option.
Yeah, and I didn't even know about that one.
So that's one that people come to us a lot and say, hey, what about a 529 plan?
Mm-hmm.
One that people don't know about quite as much is the Education IRA. There's smaller limits on what you can put away for that, and there's no tax deduction, but that money does grow tax deferred, and when you use it for education, it comes out tax-free. With that one, you can use it for college or for high school or elementary school at a private level. So it's a little bit more flexibility on that one.
Sure.
There are some income limits, so some people can't do it, but that's a good choice for some people to at least consider.
Yeah, the flexibility I didn't realize was available with that.
And it's interesting because when people think like Roth IRA, they often think that's a retirement solution or a retirement plan. But you're saying that this can be used to save for college.
Well, that's another one. So there's an education IRA that's just an education. There's also the Roth IRA that people think about, hey, that's my retirement plan, but that's a place where we actually start with folks in looking at saving for college, because it sort of does two things. As we talked about first, saving for retirement, making sure that's taken care of, but then the Roth can be used for education in that all the contributions can come out tax-free for retirement because you've already paid tax, or for education, I should say.
Yeah.
And then if you need to use the gains on it, then there's no penalties for taking it out. You still have to pay taxes on the gains. But it's sort of that in-between. It's a hybrid between just being retirement plan and just being education that's locked in. It gives you some flexibility. So, as an example, if you were to put $5,000 away into a Roth IRA for your kid's education, you do that for 10 years, you've put in $50,000, and maybe it's grown to $75,000.
Yeah.
You can take that $50,000 you put in and use it for college if you need to, no tax consequences at all, and then that extra $25,000 that's in there can continue to grow tax-free for your retirement. Or if your child decides to go to tech school or gets a scholarship or some other reason doesn't need all that money, then it's in your retirement plan where you want it for your retirement.
The point is taking that principal out, you don't have to pay taxes on that because you've already paid taxes on that.
That's right.
Great, yeah.
That sounds like a great option. Just listening to you, I didn't know that was available either. Yeah. So yeah, like you said, the 529 is kind of the popular go-to. People know about that one, but some good options.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
So the cost of college, of course, is rising and can be pretty daunting. Let's talk a little bit about, for parents out there trying to plan this basically six-figure expense for their kids. Give us some ideas of how to do that planning-wise, just for regular folks out there.
Sure. Well, it's interesting because it is such a big number, and you read about how much it costs. And I've got two little kids that are in preschool right now. Nobody talks about planning for preschool, but man, that's pretty expensive too, right?
Good point.
It really is.
Between daycare or childcare and preschool, and people make it work, and that's part of the message I like to get to people is, it's a big expense, but we'll work it out.
Yeah.
One of the strategies we like to use for people, because it is such a big number, is the rule of thirds, we call it. And so we say have the parents pay for a third, so plan to save for a third. Plan to have your child earn a third of the tuition as they go through school, and then plan to get loans for a third of things.
Okay.
So to break it up in that, it's more bite-sized pieces. I think it's important to have the kids have some skin in the game, and they know that it's, it's not a free ride sort of a thing.
Right. No, I like that idea a lot, and it takes a little bit of the pressure off thinking about saving for a third of college. And what a nice, send off to your hopefully student going to college of having, a nice chunk taken care of.
That's right.
And anything you can do to teach your kids the value of $1, I think, is really, really helpful to know that this is how much you have to work to save for 1/3 of college. So.
And we even recommend that folks, if they're planning to save and pay for more of that we still recommend going the loan route.
Sure.
Because then the parents can always pay back that loan. You've got flexibility. But to your point, Justin, it talks about the learning what a credit application is, developing some of those, making payments and understanding what interest is and that sort of thing in sort of a safe environment as opposed to when you get a credit card or those sorts of things.
No, great tips.
John Shear from Trinity Financial Planning, thank you so much for joining us
John.
today.
All right, thank you guys.
Don't go away. When we come back, we'll be talking with Courtesy Ford. It's Wisconsin Family.